Gentlemen, welcome back to the Tiege Hanley Starting a Business, Building a Brand vlog. This one, big number 338. So here is the interesting thing. When you hear about people running multiple businesses, right? You think, God, what are they, like superhumans? Like it doesn't make sense. You know, I have a tough time committing to one business or doing one thing, and I have the same amount of time in the day as you do, right? 24 hours, we all get it. There's no more magical way to get more time. Sleep, you better be sleeping like 7 to 8 hours, or else you're not gonna be able to kick ass because your body's gonna get run down and all sorts of bad, horrible things happen to your body when you don't sleep enough. I also need, me personally, 8 hours. Like I need 8 hours for me to basically feel the way that I like to feel and just to really, kick ass, honestly. And so taking time from sleep is not necessarily the best solution for me. Now, if you're just getting started, you don't have enough time, you got a family, you've got a 9-to-5 job, you gotta be, where you gotta be, you gotta exercise and all that stuff, you may need to wake up an extra hour early or 2 extra hours early or go to bed an extra hour, or I should say an hour late, in order to get a little extra time in the day in order to work on that side project, that side business that you are dreaming about and thinking about in terms of basically getting off the ground your entrepreneurial endeavors. And so you may need to sleep a little bit less than 8 hours. But for me, at this stage in my life, I need 8 hours or else I am not that great. 7.5, maybe. Anyway, the question that comes up oftentimes though is like, how do you do it? How do you run multiple, 7, 8-figure businesses? And how do you manage your time, right? A lot of people, whenever I'm being interviewed on like a podcast or anything that talks about business, well, you run, they always say like you run or you have like 5 businesses, 6 businesses, whatever it is. So let's run down. For me personally, I have Alpha M YouTube channel. I've got Menfluential Media. I've got Salon Posta. I've got Tiege Hanley. I've got Pete and Bejo. I've got Enemy. See? And that is it. Those are the businesses that I have. And so one of the questions last week, actually let me write it, which inspired this. I'm going to get to a lot of business questions. For the record, if you have one down below, start it with business question and ask it each week. We try to get to a few. This vlog is all about business questions. It's from our friend Steven Yans. He says, hey Aaron, how can you manage having more than 3 companies? I believe you have 4. Alex Costa has 3. Jose is on his way to 6. And then there was another question from my boy Joey. Where is it? He says, with owning multiple businesses, how do you do your time management? Does each get a percentage of your day, or is it more of a weekly check-in? For me, it's still very hands-on in both of mine, but I feel I'm not devoting enough time to either. Maybe it's time for an assistant. So the question, once again, it's about how do you manage it? How do you do it? Well, I can tell you from experience that I am not that good that I can manage or run 5 or 6 businesses. For me, the thing that really has allowed me to kind of, take it to that next level has been partnering with amazing people that can actually operate on a daily basis the business or help set strategic directions and then go out and actually do it. My businesses, other than YouTube, do not rely on me to do the day-to-day operational stuff that is required for businesses. Tiege Hanley, Kelly is in charge. He's the CEO, and then he has got a team around him that is able to handle the marketing, that is able to handle the finances, that is able to handle fulfillment, everything. Basically, Kelly is the top dog. I am in a supporting role at Tiege Hanley. We get on weekly calls, twice a week actually. I'm on a call with Tiege Hanley, talking about the business, talking about some of the issues we're dealing with, but then every day I get emails, I get updates. And so for me, that business is amazing because I was in a position to utilize my skill in what I do very well, which is promote and market when we were starting that business. And that's how I brought value to that company. Now, looking at it 5, 6 years, from the start of the business, that is still my role. Now, the good news is that we have been able to basically get the heavy lifting off of my back in terms of marketing and advertising. We've been doing, Josh and Tom and the rest of the marketing team have just been crushing it in terms of acquiring customers, both from an influencer advertising perspective, but also a paid advertising perspective and an acquisition we've got just an amazing marketing sort of machine that is just now, for the past, I would say, 3 months, has really just been kind of like going and fuel. And you can feel like a groundswell, like this like building. Like we just came off of our best acquisition week and month ever at Tiege Hanley, which is exciting. Really exciting, because in order for us to grow, it needed to get off of my back. I will tell you a true story. When Tiege started, or before Tiege started, Rob and Kelly came down to Atlanta to talk to me. We had a phone call. Long story short, we were out at dinner. And we were discussing, Kelly was like, well, how much equity do you want in this company? And I was like, I want this much. And he's like, no, that's way too much. And I said, well, why? He said, well, because at 3 years, you cannot still be the driver of the marketing. It's got to be away from you in order for this business to really scale and grow. And I said, I agree. The problem was that at 3 years, it was still kind of like I was carrying a lot in terms of the amount of traffic that I was responsible for. It was like 80%, right? Like 80% of the sales were still coming via me one way or the other. And so ever since we've started, really, I would say 2 years in, it's been this Herculean effort to try and get the message of Tiege and the sale of Tiege away from me. The good news is that when now we've got this exit survey, right? Well, how did you hear about Tiege? What brought you here? What was the first, touch of Tiege? Because you hear a lot of times people talking about like touches. You need 7 or 8 touches before you make a sale. What was, anyway, long story short, I'm at about, I think like 20% now. And this is way lower than 80%, which is amazing because it has to be. My views have dropped, my conversions have dropped. Now I still bring, a fair amount of conversions to the table every time I do a video, and I still convert well, but my videos haven't been doing well in terms of views. And so it's going to stifle my growth. But the good news is that a lot of the influencers that we're using, some of them were crushing it, and they also are super affordable. And so that's kind of the magic, is to try and find that. But a lot of the offers that we're doing is also helping drive the needle as well. So anyway, all that to say, Tiege Hanley, I have more of a strategic, high-level role at Tiege Hanley. I am not day-to-day. Pete and Pedro, I am more hands-on with Pete and Pedro, but I have Mike Levy, who is kind of like the marketing director, and he definitely is doing a lot of the heavy lifting. I also have Dave, who is handling a lot of like the creative and the social channels and the influencer channels. And then we've got Matt, who's the warehouse manager. Debbie, my assistant, handles a lot of like the wholesale stuff that we do. And so, and then I've got Zavi and Matodi that are in the warehouse with Matt, fulfilling orders. I've also got a few part-time people, but the Pete and Pedro team is a lot smaller. It requires me to be a lot more hands-on. I also am the sole owner of Pete and Pedro, and so it does require a lot of the things in terms of like marketing spend or anything that we're really spending money on or ordering. It comes to me because I'm looking at the bottom dollar, like I need to look at that every day. And so I'm more hands-on there, but I get enough time during the day to, and typically the way that it works with that, every night around like 6 o'clock when I go for my evening walk, that's my time to hop on a call with Mike, who is in California, to basically catch up. I get all the emails like every day, and I'm looking at the emails, but I don't respond to every email because it's impossible, right? I need enough time to do what I do, which is create video, which is a business in and of itself. Terry manages the Menfluential Media, the advertising agency. Whoops, hold on. Spam. I was in a groove. Anyway, what was it? Terry manages that. We've got Brian, we've got Tom. It's a small team. There are 3 people that work Menfluential Media. Enemy, that's the one. That's the one. I've got Paul, who has been helping sort of from a strategic standpoint and an operational standpoint, and we've been retooling the website. We're getting ready to launch in the next, I would say, 30 days. But that's the one. That's the one that really kind of doesn't have that operator, and it requires me. And so that's the reason why that business hasn't really blown up and taken off, which brings me back to sort of the point. If you are the one that has to be responsible for operating and doing the day-to-day, and you've got to split your time, something is going to suffer. Something is not going to work as well as if you focused your time and energy on one thing. And that is kind of the takeaway and the secret, right? If you've got limited time, if you've got limited focus, you can focus on one thing really well. Maybe you can split your time, right? It's kind of like think of it like a marriage, right? If you've got a wife, right, in order for that relationship to be awesome, you've got to really focus and dedicate your time on that. If you got a mistress, now a little bit of your time is going to go over here. You're not going to be as dedicated and as disciplined, and you're not going to give as much time. And so some relationship is going to fall. You get another girlfriend, gentlemen, this is a horrible analogy, but you see what I'm saying. You only have so much time in the day. You only have so much energy and bandwidth. Now, the good news for me is that most of my businesses are all online, right? The salon, another one I forgot to mention. Steven is the managing partner. Tony does all of the day-to-day. Courtney is the manager. They're kind of like running everything, and that's Tony's wife. And so another one where I really don't have that much to do with that salon other than sort of once a month, we'll get together, we'll talk about the numbers, what we're going to do, what we need to do. If there's something or an issue with the building, I get brought in. But Tony, my business partner in the salon business, he is also my running partner. So we run every Sunday. So that's when he and I talk about business with the salon. And so just to refresh, I own the building, I own everything in the salon, and then we have another entity, Salon Posta, that basically is the three of us, myself, Steven, and Tony. And that business rents the salon for me, and then I am part owners of the salon business. I get rent, I do not get a salary. Tony and Steven both get salaries from the salon. I get a distribution from the profits once a year at the end of the year after we do the books and all that good stuff. That's how that business works. But once again, it's kind of a passive income situation for me, which is, for me, ideal. And that's the only reason. The fact that I've got other smarter, better, more competent and capable people around me handling stuff, that's the only reason why I can have 5 businesses or 6 businesses or whatever. Alex Costa, I know for a fact, he's got a manager that handles all of his advertising. And then he's got partners in all of his businesses that basically run them, right? I know the person who came to him for his hair product business. It was Joe at Bluemon, Ben's old partner. They broke up or ended, and then Ben went to Alex and said, hey, let's do something similar. I want to be your partner. And that's how that kind of came to be. And so Ben, having a lot of information, having a lot of experience, because he helped Joe at Bluemon, or they built that together, transitioned and parlayed it over to help Alex. The apparel, I'm not sure, but I know that he's not doing everything. I know that he's got other people that handle that. And then Alex, or Jose. You know, Jose and the team that they have built over at their new place is incredible, right? Jose has his brother, but then they've assembled and built an entire team that handle the different sort of verticals that they have. And they have a lot. And they are, doing a great job. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, for myself, and probably for them, that if they had less entities and put more focus in fewer entities, those entities that you put your focus in would be more successful than they already are. Now, they're already successful, and all of them can be successful, but once again, it's about that time, it's about that energy, it's about the love that you give the thing that you are prioritizing. And what I have found is that the things that basically I prioritize more are the things that are working better, or the things that I am making more money on, which is the reason why Enemy has kind of been a little bit of a stepchild, because, when I started that business, I had somebody that I partnered with, right? They ended up flaking out and we ended up breaking up as friends. But yeah, I thought I was going to have somebody that was going to be able to help me with that. It turned out they left, and so I was left holding the bag. All of that to say, I am not special. I just spit. I spit on you. I'm slobbery though. I am not special in terms of I don't have some crazy ability to juggle and manage. I have just been fortunate enough to be smart enough eventually to have and hire and partner with people that are better in the respective areas. The only thing that I feel that I am like 100% like locked in is the YouTube videos, right? That's what I have to do. That's my job, which helps, lift all the other ships. Which is one of the reasons why I still edit my videos. Like, that's my job. Monday through Friday, that's my job. I have to do that. And it's kind of like, for me, it's kind of like the price of entry, right? I've got to do it. I've got to do it. And I enjoy doing it. That's the thing that I love to do. I love business. I'm an entrepreneur, but I love creating content. I love thinking about thumbnails. I love, filming myself and talking and editing. Like, I enjoy that. And so if I can do that, that's what I'm really good at. Some of you would argue and say I'm not, but I feel that that's what I'm good at and that's what I enjoy. And then, something else, another question that came up just last week on my I've got Area 627. That's another company. That one's just kind of, I'll tell you about that one. We have one investment in there and we'll see. That's honestly, the Area 627 thing, the most value I get from that business is that I get to see Eric Banholtz, Ryan Masters, and Antonio Centeno for 1 hour every week. And it's scheduled. And we talk and we commiserate and we laugh and we joke. And that is why it's not really, I don't really see that as a business right now, because we haven't really I don't know. I think we're all kind of trying to figure it out and feel out and okay, what are we going to do? That's the one where we invest in businesses that are doing at least $100,000 a year and help them get to $1 million is the plan and the goal. Anyway, so yeah, the takeaway is you've got limited time. You've got two businesses, which one is working better? You're going to go to where you're making the most money. And that is a comment that a lot of times I think Robert on Shark Tank, when I was on Shark Tank, he's like, your loyalties are going to go to wherever you make the most money. And I'm like, no, but it's true. You will. Whatever's working is going to be more exciting. Whatever's producing the revenue and you're squeezing and whatever producing more juice, that's the one chances are that you're going to want to dedicate more time to. Now, if you feel like there's something else you want to do it, but just don't take the eye off the prize. It's very difficult to juggle multiple businesses. But great question, and there are some more great questions. I'm sorry I'm going long on this one, but you know what? Whatever. If you dig it, gentlemen, drop it. All right, so this question is near and dear to my heart, and I've thought about it, and okay, it's from our friend Geo Foreman. Anyway, what's up, brother? He says, Aaron, I love your content. You truly changed my life, brother. Thank you, sir. So have you. You've changed mine. To get to my question, I'm a veteran and currently work in law enforcement full time. Thank you for your service. I've been weightlifting for years and I have a passion for bodybuilding and for making a positive impact on my community. However, I'm still quite young and lack the knowledge on how to start my business. I live in a small town with only one gym and the hours are terrible since COVID hit. I want to open a 24-hour gym that would be the only competition in the area, and I want to partner up with the local fire and police services and offer discounts. I'm looking at franchises currently. I want to know how to go about getting grants and loans and what I should do to get started while also working my full-time career. So that is a question. In terms of grants and loans, I'm not sure. When we were starting our company, Move It, the one that I ended up that was bankrupt, and also we ended up going to the college, the local college around here. They have a small business department, and you can apply for an SBA or small business loan. SBA, is that what it's called? Small Business Association loan. Anyway, we got a small little loan from them. It was not much. And then we took that money and went to a bank, BB&T at the time, and said, hey, we've raised like $25,000 or $50,000. Will you give us a loan based collateralized by this money? And so they were like, yeah, okay, give us your 25 or 50,000. I can't remember off the top of my head, and we'll give you 60,000 or something like that. And then we took that, and so it was really hard. We also went to friends and family and raised some money in order to start that business. I think in total, when we started the company Movement, we raised, I think it was $110,000. It might as well at that time been like $1 million. Anyway, we also had some equipment. We got leases, long-term leases with the equipment. Anyway, I don't know. I'm sure that there are different organizations that will give you grants or loans in order to start a business based on the fact that you are a veteran and you're a small business. Now, before you open your business and before you start a franchise, which I think a franchise for somebody like you may make sense, but what you really need to figure out and find out first is there really a viable market in your area. And I know that it sounds like, oh, well, there's only one competitor and their hours are terrible. And if I had a 24-hour place, 24-hour places, once again, they really only get used at the prime hours like everything else, or all other gyms. But a lot of people like thinking, oh, I've got 24 hours. If I want to go work out at midnight, I can. Nobody goes and works out at midnight unless you're a shift worker or whatever. I want to know why. Why are there not more workout facilities in your area? And what are you considering your area? What is the density? What is the potential customer base? What I would probably do is try to part-time go work at the other gym that is in your area, and try and learn. I mean until because there's a lot that goes into. It's not just about getting a building, getting a lease, getting the equipment, and opening your doors and thinking people are gonna flock in. There's a lot more to it. Marketing is a huge, once again, piece of the puzzle. Now, if there is limited supply in your area and the demand is high, then great. If you're in a high traffic area, and that's one of the reasons why people will go into like A centers or B centers. And what I mean by A center or B center, basically shopping centers have different ratings. An A center is like a Whole Foods, right? Or a Target, right? These really strong centers that have nice solid anchors. You know that a lot of people are going. And the beautiful thing, if you're in a space like that, is that you're going to have a ton of people that are going to be coming to that center every day, and they're going to see you. And so you literally could put out like a big blow up wavy thing. Hey, come get a sexy, your body sexy or whatever. I'm just throwing things out. And you know that people are going to be in there. That's the reason. But the downside to A centers or B centers are a little bit lower than A centers, right? And C, they're like a little bit like, that's like where you're going to see a lot of like dollar stores and stuff like that. And then I don't even know if they're D centers, but I'm sure there probably are, like below C. But the clientele is not necessarily going to be as amazing as an A center or B center with a really strong anchor. Now, the downside to an A center or B center is that you are going to be paying more, right? It's more expensive. The CAM fees, everything, all of the fees associated with opening in a place like that is more expensive. Now, the beautiful thing, there are franchises like CrossFit. Now, if you're not a CrossFitter, it's definitely not something to open, but CrossFit relies on really bad locations, right? They're in warehouses and office parks or warehouse parks that you never will have any drive-by traffic, but they rely on a lot of marketing and word of mouth. They're also not a facility where you're going to have 100 people working out at a specific time. They're going to be a lot less, right? 20 people in a class, 30 people maybe. So they can operate in smaller facilities. Their overhead is lower. Their franchise fee is also lower. One of the upsides and reasons why a 24-hour fitness place or one of these other, workout places, franchises make sense is that you're thinking that they're going to actually bring all of the knowledge and the marketing and the training to the table, right? That's why people start franchises. Brand recognition and usability for the operator, right? You're going to get a packet. This is how you operate a 24-hour workout anytime or 24-hour fitness or whatever. But know that it's still going to be expensive. You're going to be paying a fee. And if there really isn't much competition in your area, do you need that? Or could you basically set up a place in a great center, a great location, and just market, right? The beautiful thing about workout places and fitness places and brick and mortar stores like that is that you can still go old school with your marketing. You can contact Papa John's Pizza and you can pay, or whatever pizza place that delivers, right? And you can pay to have your flyer stuck on top of the delivery orders or every box and get out to customers. You can do direct mail. You can get a demographic, you can buy, email list, not email list, you can buy email lists too, because, hang on, I'm all over the place. You can buy mailing lists in a specific area, specifically like, okay, you got to make X number of dollars in this zip code, located within 5 miles from this gym or whatever it may be. You can buy that and send direct mail. That is still a viable option. Billboards, another option, locally makes sense, possibly, depending on the price. But a lot of the billboard companies are hurting so bad now because people aren't advertising on them. The prices come down actually in that medium. But yeah, so if there's no competition, maybe you don't need that franchise. Maybe you should just go and work part-time at the place that is in your area just to see, do you like it? Do you enjoy it? What are some of the headaches? Learn on their dime, and then maybe bring it to your area. I don't know if that answered any of your question, but it got me thinking about fitness and fitness centers, because that's something that once upon a time, it was the only thing that I wanted to do. And, looking at the market now, it's very different. Back in the day, personal trainers at like a Crunch Fitness, we were making like $100 an hour. Now, you go into an LA Fitness, a trainer is making like $10 an hour, $10 a half hour. And, the quality of the trainers have also gone like way down. And so anyway, it is definitely an exciting thing. And if you're in and passionate about something like that, it may be something to explore. But you got to do your homework. You got to do your research. But most importantly, you got to know if your area or the place that you live can support a business, and what is your break even. What is it going to be? What is it going to require? How many, I should say, members do you need in order to pay your bills? But great question, and good luck. The next business question comes from our friend Nicholas Jenkins, which it's a great question. It's a long question. So I'm going to kind of paraphrase it. Nicholas is about to graduate with a business degree in 2 weeks. He has a job offer that he's going to accept with a finance firm. But his passion and what he really wants to do is open his own firm in like cryptocurrencies, and he doesn't know what he should do, right? In terms of, should he get a second job and try and start his own firm now, or take this job with a larger, more established firm and then eventually someday do his own thing? And that is the road and the thing that I would do, right? You're fresh out of college. You don't know anything yet, right? And so I'm not saying you don't know anything, but you get what I'm saying. You're going to learn so much in even just a year or 2 years working at a bigger company. You're going to learn so much. You're going to learn so much. You may find after working for them that it's not something that you're really interested in doing for yourself, or you may figure out ways to do it better, or efficiencies or things that they're doing wrong that you can improve upon. You're also going to be able to save a little bit of money, plan, strategize, and start thinking about and planning and getting everything together while you're saving money. Keep your expenses super low so that you can save extra cash in order to someday, when the time is right, jump and open your own firm. Maybe something you can do in the meantime is start thinking about it, right? Like maybe get a website, a domain, maybe incorporate, start setting the groundwork and the framework of starting a business. But you're going to learn so much getting out there into the workforce and working at a company. You can't pass on that opportunity. I think it would be foolish to think that you could do it now with like zero knowledge. Get your experience and go, right? And learn and see what you can extract from this incredible opportunity. But great job, congratulations, and good luck. The last business question comes from our friend Paul Clark. He says, "Hi Aaron, first off, I appreciate your transparency with a difficult question on May 1st about the PPP loan." Okay, so real quick, Marino took no money from the PPP loan either. None of my entities other than Tiege Hanley took it. And if you can find that on a website, Marino LLC, it's spelled Marino, or not period, LLC. If you can find that and they're from Georgia, please send it to me. Email me a link, aaron@imalpham.com, because our friend Ryan said, you took $100,000. Now, either he totally was lying, could be, or he really saw that, which I looked, I couldn't find anything. And if there's something out there that says that Marino LLC took a PPP loan for $100,000, send it to me, because somebody's got my money, because I didn't take it. And that is 100% fact. I swear to God on my life, my mother's life, my cat Piglet, my wife, everybody and their mother. I didn't take any money for Marino, and I didn't get around anyway, sorry. No problem. Answering the question wasn't hard. It is what it is, and thank God it was available. Anyway, he says, I felt like you did a great job handling that question. My question is about copywriting and trademarking. For example, at the end of your YouTube videos, you say, "We love you more than our double monk strap shoes." And I'm curious, in terms of your quote, if somebody else did use that exact same quote and you have a copyright trademark on that, are they not allowed to say that unless they mention you? I don't know. Can you explain kind of the mechanics of how that sort of works? I'm very interested. So in terms of the trademark, copyright, laws and stuff like that. That's a big conversation. I also need to brush up on it a little bit before I start talking about it. And so what I think I'll do, Paul, do me a favor. Copy your question and post it in this vlog, right? Let me say it again. That will remind me, because I look at, basically once it posts, I look at comments from the time it posts. There aren't too many to go through. That will remind me to answer it in the next vlog, and I promise I will answer it in the next vlog. This one's already crazy long, and I don't want to butcher it like I butchered all the other questions. But anyway, that's where I'm going to wrap things up. Gentlemen, as always, we love you more than our Dub Monk Strap shoes. I hope I can say that. I hope somebody else doesn't have a trademark or copyright on it. What's the difference? Who knows? Next week, we'll talk about it.